stars we got to see tonight. But first, please welcome the president and CEO of All Elite Wrestling, Tony Khan.
Hey, everybody. What an amazing night. We're just getting started with the scrum, and it feels like that was an amazing full gear, and it's great being back here with you. 3 out of the last 4 years we've been in the Prudential Center, and it's 5 straight years, Renee, with over 10,000 fans at full gear. We're really excited about tonight's show. We had a great crowd. It was a great pay-per-view. I think a lot of really exciting things happened tonight. We've got a great first guest. Let's kick it off with a brand new TNT champion.
Mark Briscoe, you did it. You won the TNT championship. You and Kyle Fletcher. This was time number 5 for you guys. Such high stakes going in to this match. But look at that beautiful new title that you've been gifted from Orange Cassidy. Gave that to you?
My good friend Orange Cassidy presented it to me on behalf of the entire conglomeration, my road family, as I like to say. And yeah, I could not be happier with the lovely design.
From everything that you've been through throughout your career, to be able to have this championship and have it so specifically tailored to you, how does that feel?
It's amazing. This is, you know what I mean? I never necessarily thought that a night like tonight would happen. You know what I mean? I'm a tag team wrestler. I've always been a tag team wrestler, you know? So it's been 3 years now that I put that behind me. And so it just is really, it's really amazing. You know what I mean? I want to thank Tony, I want to thank my family, thank God, and thank all y'all, all the fans, everybody who supports it, because this is, I mean, it really is. I can't really quite find the words, but it feels pretty good.
Mark, you've got your family out here. You guys are gonna hit the road and head home after this, yeah?
Well, yeah, we gonna head on down Delaware, but we don't got far to go.
All right, so we'll keep rolling here, guys. Who's got some questions for Mark Briscoe?
What's going on, man? Josh Martinez of Z100 iHeartRadio. Given the proximity to Delaware and the family being here, how much more special is the title win here compared to in essentially any other city in the country?
Yeah. Oh man, it really is a significant thing, because we started our careers, me and my brother started our careers in Wilmington, Delaware, which is minutes away from New Jersey. But by the second year of our career, we had, you know, a little bit of a falling out, whatever, with the Delaware promotion. And Sewell, New Jersey was the next stop for the Briscoe brothers. So New Jersey, I mean, is pretty much where it all started, right outside, you know, Wilmington, Delaware, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Sewell, New Jersey. It's just such a close proximity. That's a good word. Proximity. It might be word of the day. Proximity. I like that. But yeah, no, man. It really just to be here in the Northeast, and where we cut our teeth, and now it's like it's come, you know, 25 years later, and it's like thousands of people out there, pay-per-view, you know, hundreds of thousands of people watching all over the world, and it's just like, it's amazing, man. It really is.
Hey, Mr. Mark, I'm here from Believe Network. You said that you've been a tag team guy your whole life. You won tag team titles. How is this winning your first single titles compared to those titles?
Man, it's cool. It's cool. It's a different feeling. You know, I never quite had as much success in the singles ranks, but I'm starting to feel good, man. I'm starting to hit my stride, I feel like, you know. So it really, you know, I like to try my best to stay humble and stay grounded, you know, but it made me feel real good.
And it's been a real amazing journey, I think, with you as a singles wrestler, because, you know, you've wrestled in the Continental Classic a couple times. We saw you a couple years ago in the tournament, and the second year in the Continental Classic, a much better performance, and you were in it until the last night. You had a chance to advance up until the last night, a great performance. And you actually, including in that tournament, picked up a win over Kyle Fletcher. It was match 2 in the series, was actually in the Continental Classic. It's been such a classic series. It's actually, if I may say, it's now tied 3-3, Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe. And also, in addition to the great runs in the Continental Classic before now, you built up, and I thought it was so amazing when you won the Ring of Honor World Championship. And that meant a lot.
Yes, sir.
And that was a huge step, and it felt like a big step in the journey as a singles wrestler, especially given your great history in the promotion. And really, that's what brought you into this world, and that's how we started working together, is when I acquired Ring of Honor. And one of the great things that came with it, like when Jim Crockett bought the UWF and he got Sting, I got something great with Ring of Honor, and it was Mark and Jay. And I have to say, that was incredible when you won the Ring of Honor World Championship. That was one of my favorite moments. But for you to win your first ever championship in AEW,
Yes, sir.
and for you, Mark Briscoe, to be the face of TNT, I can't tell you how much that means to everybody here.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
We've got 2 more questions for Mark.
How you doing, Mark? Bill Bodkin from the Pop Break. When you won the title, 10,000 people were on their feet standing and chanting, "You deserve it." I know the adrenaline's rushing, you got blood soaked on your face, but tell me the thoughts going through your head when you're hearing "You deserve it." You've been doing this. I remember seeing you you couldn't even wrestle in Philly. You had to manage your brother in Ring of Honor in the Murphy Rec Center. Now here you are at the Prudential Center and people saying "You deserve it." Tell me how you feel about that and how you felt in that moment.
Man, daggone, it really is. It's really cool, man. It's like life's crazy, you know. Life's crazy, like the highs and the lows, and taking the good with the bad. And you know, there's seasons for winning, seasons for losing, seasons for pain, seasons for, you know what I mean. Is a season for everything, time and a season for everything. And it's just being in this season right here, right now. It really is it's amazing. I hate to sound like a broken record, but it just feel really, you know, it feel really good. But yeah, man, it's cool. And to have, you know, I didn't have all my kids here. Good Lord, we can't hardly. That's just asking for trouble there. But had some of my kids here, mom and dad, some of my best friends, my brother's kids, they were here. And I mean, so it's just. It was really it was humbling. It was humbling actually, because I'm just like this is my childhood dream. This is what I wanted to do since I was my 2 boys out there in the hallway that are probably out there wrestling in the hallway as we speak. And they're, you know, my one son just turned 5 on the 10th, and he just all he does is wrestle. He wakes up in the morning and he's a wrestler. You know what I mean? I think I'm leaking a little bit here, yeah. So we got him a gear bag. You know, we got him a gear bag, a little roller bag, and camo pants and a Dem Boy shirt. It's like so. It's so humbling, man. And it's so like it's just really cool feeling, man. Really cool. Feel real good. Thank you, brother.
One last question for Mark.
Hey, Mark, Corey Lieb with the Wrestling Observer. This also goes to Tony as well, because Tony mentioned in the Ariel Helwani interview that one of his biggest regrets was that you guys were not in AEW before Jay's untimely passing. Well, now you're the TNT champion. Kind of put that into words that, you know, from basically for something that happened years ago to now, where not only are you on AEW television, you're a champion, and you are one of the faces of this company. You know, to kind of talk about, you know, the full circle of that.
Yes, sir. It really was really is a crazy story. Like where, you know, allegedly the reason that you know, we couldn't be here was because a TNT executive.
Who's long gone.
Yes, yes.
A long departed.
Yeah. And no, I mean, I love
Somebody who is long gone and you know,
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
ever since I've been here, and every single individual from Turner, TNT, TBS that I've met has been
The best.
amazing.
This place is the best. This is the
Amazing.
absolute greatest. It's a great place. And again, that is not somebody that is part of the family of the network or part of this family now.
Yeah, I mean, like, so cool. But it's like to answer your question is just crazy because, you know, so many years ago, it was, you know, we didn't know there was a point where, you know, the trajectory of the Briscoe brothers was, it was just all up. And then, you know, some unfortunate comments were made by my, you know, big head brother. But, you know, it's one of the things where you live and you learn. And we're just so grateful that people kind of have seen and acknowledged that, you know, we did learn from our mistakes. And it's like, okay, now it's like, it's just like you said, the full circle aspect of it. It really is. It's mind blowing, man. It's hard to put into words. It really is. It's hard to put into words.
I think, first of all,
Thanks, brother.
it's important for me to note, like I said, I did mention that I think about it every day, but I also think about it every day and think I did everything personally I could because I tried so many times. And this person who is no longer here would not budge. So I want to go out of my way to thank a person who came in and changed everything and made all this possible. And all the changes that were made. Thank you to Mr. David Zasloff, who had brought in a different team and also a lot of changes and made it possible to not only we had a much better. It's just one of the hardest things ever for me was looking back all the times that I tried to bring you guys to the show, and you came, and there were times, and I asked, and all the times, and I think about it all the time, and then in the end, to think how this administration, how Warner Brothers Discovery, how Mr. Zasloff and this regime have opened us with welcome arms to do all this stuff that we do together, and now to go on the TNT Twitter or X handle, and you go on the X and the bio says Mark Briscoe is our champion, and that shows because first of all, you said our mistakes. What did you do? You didn't do anything, and also to be honest, right? Like, right. And that was my point too, and that was also my point too. And then after I was like, what then? You know, what did he do? So like, you know. I think about it every day because I love working with them. And like I said, when I bought Ring of Honor, I didn't know what I was getting into. I'd seen them on television and I knew they were like great talents. And everybody that Sinclair had chosen for the Ring of Honor Hall of Fame, other than the Briscoes, already worked here because that Samoa Joe was coming in that night. And I'd already talked to Samoa Joe. And then we had, of course, Brian and Phil. So then I had never worked with Mark and Jay until our first pay-per-view together and then doing the trilogy with FTR. It's one of the greatest tag team. Well, first of all, it's three of the greatest tag team matches ever, and it may be the greatest trilogy of tag team matches ever. And it started a run and a lot of really special things that have happened. And I just wanted to say that for me, there was a lot of great emotional moments in 6.5 years in AEW, and I thought this was one of the greatest moments. And I'm very grateful again to TNT for making it possible, and I'm very grateful to you, Mark, and your beautiful family, and I love you very much.
Thanks, Tony. I love you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, but just to put a little bow on that, it was when my brother passed. The first thing that popped in my head was, I'm never going to be able to wrestle again. I don't ever want to wrestle again. And it was a very short amount of time. And I was like, what are you talking about? It was almost like he was like, what are you talking about? Like, no. That's not how we do this. We're not quitting. You know what I mean? we're not quit. We ain't quitters. And it was almost like, you know, of course I didn't, but it's like I felt him. He's like, man, go keep on keeping on, brother. Keep on keeping on. Make us proud. Make us proud. And tonight is quite a validation. You know what I mean? Quite a validation. And I just appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much, Tony. Thank you so much, brother. Love you, man. Yep. But thank you.
The TNT champion, everybody, Mark Briscoe. All right, get this man some Kleenex, maybe a sporin pad.
A pressure bandage, as Bill Watts would say.
All right, joining us now, we saw him in action earlier tonight in the tailgate brawl. Please welcome Big Boom AJ.
From one beautiful family to another. From one beautiful family, some beautiful kids.
Hey,
Hey,
how are you?
Tony. Let's go. Bring the boom.
Here?
Right here. All
You
right.
did it, buddy.
AJ, how different did tonight feel being back here in the Prudential Center as opposed to the very first night that you stepped foot here in AEW?
It was excitement nonstop. So last year was a little different. More or less the first time I had stepped back in the ring for 20 years. So I didn't know how my body was going to hold up. I didn't know how that ring was going to feel. But tonight, there was a lot more confidence. And, you know, having a ring general like QT Marshall by my side, it was just nonstop excitement. And this crowd tonight was crazy. I mean, this crowd tonight brought the boom. And I thank you all for that. So thank you so much.
All right, some questions for AJ.
Hi, AJ. Dave Weinbrecht from Adventures in Collecting.
Hey, Dave.
So it's your second year at Full Gear,
Yes.
second victory.
Thank you.
It's now time, I think, where we discuss like, hey, is there going to be a Big Boom AJ action figure? And would it be like a Costco exclusive, something along those lines?
You have this one?
Oh, 100%. There's going to be a Big Boom AJ action figure. I think that's may I say 5 big booms.
5 big booms. Boom, 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 boom.
Does it come with
One
a
of my-
chocolate chunk cookie?
One of my favorite moments ever is I went to the Super Bowl last year with AJ and Big Justice, and my friend Adam Devine, the great actor,
Yeah, we
came.
had a great time.
We had a great time. And you shot a video with Adam, and you gave him a cookie, and he was good cookie, but Adam gave it like out of 5 booms, he gave it 3 booms, but you still did the 5 booms. And he was like, I said 3, you can get the 5.
I'm so programmed.
You're so used to doing 5.
Josh, what's up? Thank you for the
More
question.
questions for AJ?
How you doing, AJ? Oh, how you doing? Brady, one half of the
Hey,
heel
Brady.
marks. How you doing? I wanted to know, since you're coming back to wrestling, do we think Big Justice might be following in your footsteps? And also, have you guys thought about maybe throwing cookies and chicken bakes out to the crowd during your entrance?
So, I don't know. I think you guys could answer that question. Does it look like Big Justice has pro wrestling in his future? I think Big Justice absolutely loves it. I think I've said it time and time again. If Big Justice wants to be a pro wrestler one day, Big Justice could be one of the best pro wrestlers in the world. The chicken bake and the double chunk chocolate cookie thing, I think like that's who we are at Costco. I think here at AEW, we wrestle. We wrestle, and that's one of the things I'm very, very proud of, because when we first started this journey, there was a lot of, another influencer in the ring. And I loved hearing it because I knew when I came to Full Gear, I was going to bring it.
Well, and if I may say, QT mentioned this week, and it's true, because QT said, hey, I want you to meet somebody, and I don't hang out with all influencers. I'm a wrestling guy. And he said, no, he's a wrestler. And I was like, oh, he's a wrestler. That's great. Well, I love wrestling, and we've had a great time.
It's been unbelievable. I mean, I absolutely love it here at AEW. And, you know, I fly that flag of AEW. I do. I'm so proud to be here. I mean, Tony, this is the greatest guy in the world.
Thank you,
I mean, this is awesome. I mean, Renee is here. You guys are here. I mean, there's no better place in the world.
Take 2 more questions for AJ, please.
Aria Whitner, F4WOnline.com.
Harvey?
Aria.
Aria. Hi, Aria.
Hi. This is, I believe, your third match in AEW. Are you looking to do this more, or are you happy just doing it once every 6 months or so? For instance, Final Battle's only a couple states away next month.
So we're about to complete year one, and there was a lot we wanted to see here. We wanted to see how the AEW audience responded, how my audience responded, how my body held up at this age. And it looks like I love AEW. It feels like AEW loves me. So it seems like there's going to be a lot more Big Justice and Big Boom AJ here.
Your son got physical tonight again. He did the same thing last year. What were the nerves like as a father last year compared to this year?
I don't think nerves serve any of us well. So I think for myself, whether we're in the ring or whether we're recording videos, and I think for Big Justice too, I mean, just look at Big Justice, look at the Rizzler. Like, this doesn't get to them. They're out there. So I don't allow the nerves to settle in. I don't think they serve us well. I think you want to stay focused, you want to keep that excitement going, and you want to bring it.
Awesome. AJ, thank you so
buddy.
much. Huge
This was
congratulations
awesome.
to you tonight.
Congrats.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Keep bringing the boom. Thank you. Thank you, Renee.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, guys, joining us here next, he is the inaugural AEW National Champion. Please give it up for Ricochet.
Uh-oh. Congratulations.
Here, you guys, here, you have my seat.
Yeah, take
I'll
Renee's.
stand
Take
right
Renee's
there.
seat.
There
We
we
have
go.
Take Renee's seat.
We have
It's okay. It's okay.
That's good. It's fine. That's good. We have a place for you to put the belt if you'd like, but whatever you want to do,
I'm gonna
Ricochet.
hold it.
Congratulations.
And guys, before we start, it's 1:20.
Let's go.
If I hear one stupid question, I'm shutting it down.
All right, let's open up some questions for Ricochet.
So Ricochet, as being a ball champion, and you won other titles before, how was this winning the title compared to your other titles?
You had to really concentrate on the idea. Honestly, it felt familiar. It felt familiar. This isn't a place that I haven't been before, but to be the inaugural national champion when there was a plethora of talent into that match that all were vying for the same thing, and to be the one, again, we came in with a plan. We had a plan set early, thanks to the no rules. So we had a plan set early, and to be the one out of all those guys vying for this thing, to be the one to win, it feels great. But again, it feels very familiar. And this is honestly just the beginning, guys. I hope you know this. This is just one of many, because I got a couple sharks here who smell blood in the water and now are very hungry. So everybody in the entire company better watch out, because we're eyeing you. Even Chris Statlander, you better watch your back, because I might come for that one next.
Next question.
Ricochet, how you doing? Alan Owens at Owens Talk. So being an inaugural champion, that's something that no one is ever going to be able to take away from you. You will be etched into history forever. Now, two guys to the left and right on you, they don't have any gold around their shoulder. I got to talk to you at StarCast, and you had told me at the time that these guys are hungry for gold. You have accomplished your mission of getting gold. Is your mindset and your eyes now set on making sure that the rest of your faction, the Demand, hold gold, and you guys dominate the rest of AEW?
If you were close enough, I would spill this coffee in your face. If you were close enough, I would throw it in your face, in your dumb face. Because once again, yes, we're very hungry for gold, like I said. And they obviously want some hardware around their waist. And again, this is just the beginning. So whether it's tag, whether it's trios, whether one of these guys have to win the Continental Classic, we're coming after everything that the company has to offer. I might come for Tony's job next.
Oh, good Lord.
You better watch out.
Hey,
Having quite a night, Ricochet.
Eric from the Adventures in Collecting podcast over here on the side. Ricochet, you've had the chance to be immortalized in plastic via action figure, a few times over. But now this is an opportunity to have this inaugural moment immortalized. What would you like to see, if you were to get a new action figure from Jazzwares?
No, please.
Could we get a demand box set, please?
Absolutely, yeah.
With the Admiral jackets.
That's the first thing I was going to say.
We 100% need a demand box.
And then the second thing, that was the first thing I was going to say. So good. And then the second thing that I was going to say was I've already thought about having an action figure with the championship. So that's something that I actually look forward to in the future, especially someone who enjoys figures and enjoys collecting. So to have something like that would be amazing. Will be amazing.
One more question for Ricochet.
Hi there, Davey Portman from Poison Rana.
It's the last one, brother.
Are
you ready?
How do you plan on differentiating this title from all the other singles titles in AEW? How are you going to make this one stand out?
First off, I had a hiccup burp there. This ain't going to be the Oprah show. It's not going to be a defense for you. Sorry, brother. You're going to have to really earn your spot. I already have a criteria in my head of things you have to achieve before you even get close to this. And then as far as going outwards and going to the CMLLs and the Indies and the New Japans, listen, guys, I was king of the Indies when the Indies were the hottest they've ever been. I was running it. So whatever the competition they got going on nowadays, it's just going to be easy money for me. I love charity work. It'll be something I do for the good of the community. You know what I'm saying? I'm completely philanthropist.
I was thinking about something. We were at Full Gear in this building a year ago, and we were here a year ago, and I saw a switch in you flip a year ago. A year ago, you wrestled the international champion at the time. You wrestled Takeshita. And you were a very different guy, Ricochet, a year ago in this same building. And I talked to you a year ago coming out of this building, and you looked like you'd been hit by a bus. And ever since then, you've been acting really different. It was here 1 year ago, and you went into the Continental Classic.
You know what happened? I started being myself. That's what happened. I stopped pretending. I stopped trying to do things that I thought these little losers were gonna like. So I started being myself.
Well, then,
and if you ride with me, you ride with me, and if you don't, look, you're the loser.
Continental Classic, I think you gave people as the tournament went on, going into the final days of the Hammerstein. I thought you gave people, you're right, more of an insight to who you really are.
And honestly, Okada got lucky in that too.
Well,
if I'm being honest,
that was the beginning of this new quest for gold you've been on. It's been 1 year, and it kind of started here in this same building 1 year ago at Full Gear, where I saw that change in you, and maybe you just stopped pretending to be a nice guy or a good person. But
because where does that get you? Where does that get you?
Well, you've done quite well being yourself, I guess. Then, Ricochet, congratulations on being the first ever national champion. And I have to say, in a year and a half where we've had a handful of casino gauntlet matches. The last one was at All In Texas, which you also were a part of. I thought this was one of the best casino gauntlet matches yet, maybe the best casino gauntlet match yet, and you won it. And congratulations, Ricochet.
6 minutes. Good job.
That was good. Congrats. Congrats to you. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Thank you, Con.
Very
impressive. Very impressive. It was very impressive.
You guys may now applause.
Great job. Renee's got it. Very impressive.
Let's move onward, and dare I say upward.
Well, I definitely would say upward. A much, much more pleasant face and a great last person to bring in here.
We'll see how she's
a
feeling.
World champion, ladies and gentlemen, the AEW Women's World Champion, Chris Statlander. difference 1 year makes. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Can you
put the middle seat? I can.
Sure, yeah. Can you put this
You're
on
very
the
short.
floor? My arm's so
Definitely. You
sore.
sit here in the middle, champ.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Congratulations. And again, what a difference 1 year makes from being in this same room a year ago after you wrestled Mercedes Moné. And things are a lot different now. And I'm here with a different person. And I'm very, very proud of the match you just had. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm proud too because I am still the champion
Let's
of
go.
the world.
Let's go.
All right, let's open up some questions for the AEW Women's Champion, Chris Statlander.
Hello, champ. My name is Courtney Rice. I'm from Women's Wrestling Talk. Congratulations on retaining the title and slaying the elephant. Leading up to this match, there was a lot of doubt, most specifically towards you, because you work in as the biggest underdog and you were able to slay the elephant. And also thinking about after this big win, what has been your biggest takeaways that you can move forward as being AEW's leading lady while also continuing the reign of Saturday Night Fever?
Yes. I have many thoughts coming into today, especially with being perceived as a big underdog, because I have had quite a successful year. I won the #1 spot in both of the first 2 ever women's casino gauntlet matches. I am the women's world champion. So the fact that people still doubted me as a viable threat to Mercedes, even when I said I'm not the same person, is a little bit of a slap in the face, because how am I the underdog when I have something that she's never had? So it is a little harsh to hear, but I just had to use that fuel as a reason to prove to everybody who may or may not have believed in me that I'm not an underdog anymore. I never was. I haven't been. I am a former champion. But, if that's how people see me, I will just continue to keep putting it in their face that I am not that.
You also did twice what Mercedes could not do. You beat Timeless Tony Storm.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you.
Graham Matthews, Bleacher Report. Going off of that, actually, you beat Tony Storm and Mercedes in the last 30 days, 2 of the most unbeatable women's stars in AEW history. Who's left for Chris Statlander to conquer?
Who's left? I mean, whoever wants to step up, whoever you think might be a viable option. Who do you think is the next one worthy of challenging the no longer underdog, the top dog, the world's champion, the champion of the world, Chris Statlander?
There's a long line of great challengers. I definitely think coming out of what was arguably your already very impressive reign, and since you won the title, it hasn't been that long, but what you've done has been so impressive. So coming out of tonight, there's going to be a long line of challengers, and to that point, I can't imagine a more impressive way to kick off a championship reign than defending your title against Timeless Tony Storm and Mercedes Moné.
Yeah.
And coming full circle from wrestling Mercedes here at Full Gear in the same arena 1 year ago.
Yeah, really, it was not a very easy start to this reign, but I have prevailed, and I will continue to do so.
Let's go.
How you doing, champ? Marv from Marv Wrestling, and congrats on defending your title tonight.
Thank you.
Big story going into tonight was Mercedes potentially capturing her 14th title and finally capturing what she could not, the AEW's Women's World title. So can you tell me how it feels to deny her 14th belt and still keep her in the hunt for the AEW Women's World title and to be the one to keep her in the hunt?
I mean, it feels wonderful because it wasn't only just keeping the title away from her. It was also, finally getting the upper hand on her when she has beaten me twice. I mean, she is the greatest women's wrestler in the world. Let's not forget.
Well, now you are the greatest.
Well, now I
women's
am.
wrestler in
Yes.
the
As
world.
of today, I am. But prior to today, she was considered the greatest women's wrestler in the world. And I will continue to give her flowers because she deserves it. But she's not the only one that deserves it. So some people, they need a little bit of a reality check, so to speak. And I'm happy to provide that for whoever needs it, I think.
One more for Chris Statlander.
Aria Whitner at 4wonline.com. You mentioned earlier losing last year to Mercedes Moné. Would you say that was kind of your breakout moment? Because it seemed like that was when you I went from being one of the women in the roster to being the next person up?
I don't know. I feel like I've kind of always had this like underlying tone of being one of the ones to be one of the top ones. But again, my injuries and other things, and then getting a title, then losing a title, you have to kind of reinvent it and rebuild yourself. So it's kind of always been like, I've had that potential this whole time. I do think that kind of was a little bit of the catalyst for me to be more so perceived. But again, like I said, even coming into today, people still saw me as an underdog when I was doing everything in my power to not be that. And I was trying to prove it. And I hope people believe in me more after today, because I mean, if I have to keep proving it, I will. But, you know, that's your own fault for not believing in me. I'm just saying.
Well, Stat, congratulations. You are the best women's wrestler in the world. It is cleared. I will help you with your championship.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Can you bring our party into the middle here?
Let's do it, buddy.
Here we go.
Hey, everybody.
Hey. What an incredible night
Awesome
tonight was. We've been rattling off all the amazing things that we've been able to see tonight at Full Gear. But we move onward. We moved. We got Nashville coming up Wednesday. One of the big things coming into Nashville, Continental Classic is starting.
Yes, I cannot wait. I'm so excited. Coming out of tonight, that was such a hard-hitting show. So many of the wrestlers, women and men, beat up. And going into this coming week, it's going to be a very exciting week of AEW. I'm back in the trainer's room across the hall. We're still working through, but I've got a very good idea of who will be participating. And I will be announcing early this week who all the Continental participants in the Gold and the Blue League are. One change, after the actions of John Moxley and after the hard-hitting match, Kyle O'Reilly will probably be out of action, and it's unfortunate because Kyle did want to wrestle in the Continental Classic. He was really excited about it, and he's been breaking through. He's had some of the biggest wins of his career, and I was excited to see Kyle O'Reilly in the field, but I think Kyle's probably not going to be cleared, and will probably have to deal with some injuries coming out of what was an incredible no-holds-barred match, and I think arguably the biggest win of Kyle O'Reilly's career, and I think these matches in the last recent couple weeks, the blood and guts match and the no holds barred match tonight, two of the biggest wins of Kyle O'Reilly's career, and we're so happy for him. What a night for the conglomeration.
Yeah, big
tonight.
time.
Big time night for the conglomeration. Kyle will probably not be cleared, unfortunately, but we have a great field coming, and I will be announcing that, and I'm really excited. The matches will start Wednesday, so stay tuned for the Continental Classic field for the Gold and the Blue League. Tonight was an amazing night. I would be remiss if I didn't say to the media, share condolences to some fallen comrades in the world of wrestling and journalism, of course, George Tejinos, and great broadcast journalist, the late, great Mr. Bob Cottle, who could not be with us, but both of them, we are thinking of both of them, and I just wanted to give a shout out to those two great fallen men in the world of wrestling journalism. I thought tonight was a great night. There were so many exciting moments, so many twists and turns on tonight's show, and certainly it sets the stage for a very interesting night on Wednesday Night Dynamite. In addition to looking at the Continental Classic, we'll have Women's World Tag Team Championship semifinal action continuing. We'll have the Sisters of Sin taking on the Babes of Wrath. And then, of course, on the other side of the semifinal, I'm looking forward to finding out what Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa have up their sleeve for Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir.
What stipulation you think they're going to pick?
Oh,
They
dude.
rattled off a few on Wednesday.
You can't predict what Toni Storm is thinking. Nobody can predict. Timeless Toni Storm's crazy. Mina Shirakawa and Toni are going to cook up something crazy. It's going to be great. And also looking forward to what's next with the Ops. We have a new AEW World Champion, Samoa Joe. And we saw Hook, somebody who's been with the Ops and may still be with the Ops. It was a very interesting situation. Hangman Page has been such a great world champion, has had such a great run of matches from All In Texas. In these recent months. He's had so many classics, whether it was winning the championship from John Moxley, defending the championship again against John Moxley, wrestling MJF in the 0-2, a classic main event of All Out with Kyle Fletcher, beating Samoa Joe at the main event in a great match, in a world championship match, but also having a great Falls Count Anywhere match with Powerhouse Hobbs. Just great matches and moments for Hangman Page, who's overcome so many things and ended up in a steel cage in a 3-on-1 situation. And Hangman Page then seemingly left standing with somebody who has at times been his biggest rival in pro wrestling, I think his biggest rival in life, Swerve Strickland, who returned tonight. And Swerve Strickland, of course, is also the man who took the AEW World Championship from Samoa Joe in the first place. So a lot of interesting things happening at the end of this show, and a lot to look forward to what's going to happen in AEW to watch this Wednesday night. It's Thanksgiving Eve, and it's a big night, and it's going to be a big week of wrestling. Also, a Thanksgiving night collision, which is the first time we've tried this. I'm very grateful to TNT.
You bringing in a turkey?
And HBO Max, and then one of these, well, that's my goal, is to get you do the wrestling cooking show.
That's
and then
please
we've been talking about it
manifest it.
we've been talking about it for years, so we'll get it going one of these years. And but I think we'll get a turkey in there, and it's going to be a great Thanksgiving collision. There's such a great tradition of wrestling on Thanksgiving night.
Yeah,
and I really think that having not only a great collision, but also to have the Continental Classic matches, knowing you're going to get Continental Classic action coming from Nashville, Thanksgiving Eve on Wednesday and Thanksgiving, and it's going to be a great field. A lot of top names lined up. Unfortunately, like I said, Kyle O'Reilly probably won't be cleared. I know he was looking forward to it, but I just wanted to shout him out again. And what a great moment that was when Kyle O'Reilly got the win. And also, like I said, for the conglomeration, I was so happy for Mark Briscoe and the Briscoe family. And I'm excited to see all of you and talk about tonight.
Yeah,
It's 5 straight years of over 10,000 fans for
Yes.
Full Gear, right? That's pretty cool. And
Hell
thanks
yeah.
for being here. And now we can take all your questions.
Yeah, let's open it up to you guys.
Hey, Tony, Bill from Pop Break. We've talked a lot tonight about people coming full circle. Take us from last year at Full Gear to this year at Full Gear and talk about creatively and everything that's gone on and how you personally feel about where the company was 1 year ago to today. Thanks.
1 year ago, sitting in this chair today, I don't feel now. 1 year ago, I felt, and today it's 180 degrees the other way. Felt 1 year ago embattled. I feel the opposite. I feel like we are doing the 10,000 fans and having the Full Gear show felt like the beginning of a turnaround. And that's really what the vibe of the Full Gear last year was like. This feels like the beginning of a big turnaround for us. And you look at 1 year later and it feels like we're on such a great run this year. It's been a really great year for us. Some interesting things I'm learning about looking back at this year, and we're in the fourth quarter now of the year. It feels like the fourth quarter, like a sports game, but also 4 quarters, breaking the year down into quarters. The first 3 quarters of the year, in each of the first 3 quarters year over year, we gained share on TBS for Dynamite, which is huge. For TNT right now on Collision, this is the time of year now where after some playoffs and stuff, the show's back in its groove. And this is the most exciting time of the year, I think, because now the Continental Classic gets going and we're down into the final stretch. Last year, it felt like from Full Gear and the Continental Classic, things really picked up. I thought the Continental Classic last year was even better than the first year. And there were so many exciting things happening. I thought we ended the year on really high notes. And then this year, I've just been so happy with the AEW shows. I think this has been the most consistent year. I thought tonight was another great pay-per-view, which means, and it's just opinions. It's all personal opinions. I feel like we're batting 1,000 on the shows this year. I thought the pay-per-views were great last year too, but I also think that the TV has been more consistently great this year. And there's been changes, but I think one of the big changes is having the show streaming on HBO Max. And there were a lot of questions. Would we be able to having shows every Wednesday on TBS and every Saturday on TNT. When we started putting the shows on HBO Max, would we be able to sustain, hold up, do well? And we've done really, really well, keeping a great audience on cable for the shows and also adding a whole new audience on streaming. And then recently we started doing the pay-per-views on HBO Max. And I think this is going to be the biggest one yet. And I'm really excited about it. Won't have all the data till early next week, but just from early advanced buys, it felt like this was a real great success story. We had great international support for the show, but trying new things, having the tailgate brawl, having an hour on TNT right before we go live with a pay-per-view to sell the pay-per-view and do things to hook people in. The last pay-per-view, it seemed like it worked really well, and there was a very positive reception having things on the tailgate brawl, including the FTR versus Jet Speed match that went into the pay-per-view, and that was very positively received. Tonight we had a twist on it where it was, again, a match that helped us hook people in, but then Okada's arrival, a little different, but also a very exciting way to have the tailgate brawl connect to the pay-per-view, and that was very well received also. So we're doing things differently a year later, but I felt like 1 year ago, that was the beginning of a great run of things that now, like you said, full circle, it feels like a total opposite feeling where it was like a year ago, it felt like the beginning of a turnaround, and now it feels like just flow, momentum, and what a great year we're having. So thank you for asking.
Hi, Tony.
Hey.
So I'm going to jump ahead 2 weeks to not only Collision, but Final Battle is also going to be at GalaxyCon this year. What went into the decision to do 2 shows at GalaxyCon compared to just the one like you did last year?
Well, it's a great opportunity. First of all, we'll have a bigger space than what we did for Collision last year. So we're doing Collision and ROH Final Battle. And since we have a bigger space and a bigger set for the shows, and that partnership went great, but I wanted to make it a bigger partnership and also have a bigger set and a chance to invite more fans in. We're going to do that. And for ROH Final Battle also, it's an opportunity to try something different. We'll still have great AEW shows in Hammerstein. It was great having the ROH pay-per-view there, but now after having the great partnership with GalaxyCon for Collision and bringing the Continental Classic to GalaxyCon last year, we can continue that in a bigger venue within the same complex, but also have ROH Final Battle. And I think those hardcore fans and that support, that's going to be conducive and should be great for the ROH show. So we saw a lot of hardcore fans there. There was a question coming in when we saw all the cosplay GalaxyCon people, and it's like, are these wrestling fans? Are they just here from the convention? Are they going to know all the stories and know all the beats? And they absolutely did. They were big wrestling fans. So we were excited to go back and do 2 shows this year. Thanks for asking. Boy, a lot of questions. Yeah. This is fun. I'm not going to be heading to Arizona for the Jags game for a while. This is good.
Hey, Tony Brady, one half of the heel marks here. We are approaching the end of the year, and obviously we'll all be talking about who we think the breakout wrestlers of the year were. With the new year comes new opportunities. If you had to name 3 wrestlers that we should keep our eye on that you think have a great chance of being the breakout wrestlers of 2026, who would they be?
Ooh, I got a good one.
Oh, man. Well, first of all, Renee, who you got?
Oh, I got to go Kevin Knight.
Oh, that's a great answer.
That's my guy. He's incredible.
That
guy,
Knight's
my
great.
goodness.
Kevin Knight's great. I love that answer. I think Kevin Knight would be a great answer. The Jet is a great answer for that. Somebody who has absolute breakout potential. I thought he was absolutely fantastic in that match. And along with him, you could absolutely say his partner. That was really exciting when they had some double teams. Of course, they're coming in hot, the Jet Speed from Arena, Mexico. And they had it was Jet Speed versus Sky Team. And then they all flew in tonight to the pay-per-view. And they were flying around on the show tonight on the pay-per-view. And I think both of them, Kevin Knight and Speedball Bailey, would be absolutely fantastic candidates and nominees for that. And then in the world, and somebody that's done a lot of really exciting things and has been a TBS champion, but is doing fantastic things and got great support, even though her team didn't get the win in the match tonight. I mean, I still think Willow Nightingale is going to be one of the biggest stars and the conglomeration. Willow Nightingale is absolutely fantastic. There you go. That's a big applause. She was absolutely fantastic in the 4-way, and I wanted to give her a shout out because even though Tony Storm and Mina picked up the win, the crowd was so behind Willow, and here you go. Even this room is behind Willow, so there you go. So that was good. So there's 3 great ones, and I could name 27 or 28 others, but those are 3 awesome ones, and that's a good list. Thank you for asking.
Hey, Tony. Eric from Adventures in Collecting podcast. So, you told us in this same room last year, how important the wrestling figure world is to, professional wrestling in general. And in our community, there has been some ambiguity in terms of what AEW's relationship is with Jazzwares headed into 2026 and beyond. So I was just wondering if maybe you could provide some clarity as to what collectors can expect in regards to that relationship.
It's a great question. I am not, I have to be honest, I'll have to look and spend more time before I give you a thoughtful answer about that. We've had a great partnership with Jazzwares for many, many years and put out countless figures now, dozens and dozens of different figures across numerous lines. And that's great. And I know we've had a great thing going with them. I can't say for sure how much longer it's going to go, but I've really enjoyed everything we have. And as for the duration, I mean, who knows? But I'm not sure. I can't say for sure right now, but it's been absolutely fantastic working with them, and hopefully we'll be able to do it for a long time. Thanks for asking. Thank you for asking.
Justin D'Orazio with Sports Radio 94 WIP in Philadelphia. Tony, it's nice to see you again.
Hey, good to see you.
We've heard a lot from indie promoters talking about how much success they've seen from Mercedes Moné going to their promotion and winning belts there. Did that have any impact in the decision to create the AEW National Championship?
I think absolutely that is one aspect of it. And it's not just independent promotions, but also I think strong international promotions. We've had a really good year in ROH. We've done a lot of different things this year. And so far, I think the ROH pay-per-views have been great, but there's also been really good reception. I think every time we've put some of the shows on YouTube, people have really been very receptive. I know a lot of people do at times miss when we used to put up Dark and Elevation on YouTube every week. Hearing Shivani and Paul White on commentary made me miss Elevation. I don't know about any of you Elevation hardcores like me. I absolutely love those shows. So I know people love when we put wrestling shows on YouTube to begin with, but really in terms of having stories, championships, and a great group of wrestlers and some young wrestlers and some veterans, I think it's been a great year for ROH. And I thought that Supercard of Honor and Death Before Dishonor have included some of the best wrestling matches. And even though I was frustrated with the circumstances that led to me making a choice in the chair of putting up Supercard of Honor on YouTube for everybody to watch, actually, there was some very good silver linings, because then I think it opened a ton of people's eyes. Like, this is an awesome pay-per-view. I like this, what Ring of Honor has been doing. These are great. And then in addition to that, I thought putting the Global Wars show up for free on YouTube was super positively received. I really loved the ROH Global Wars, in particular Global Wars Mexico. When you look at some of the matches, Bandito and Dorada, Moriarty and Blue Panther, that tag match now, and look back at that, seeing Persephone and Athena on opposite sides in that tag match, Persephone and Thunder against Athena and Red Velvet, was outstanding. And now Athena versus Persephone for the ROH Women's World Title. So ROH can really benefit for the first time ever. There's never been AEW sending a champion to ROH. Has never happened in the history of the promotions. So that's very exciting. I know that from talking to CMLL and New Japan, they are interested in this, especially when you consider Ricochet has wrestled for both those promotions and done very, very well, and made appearances for New Japan Pro Wrestling and CMLL, even going to wrestling on Wrestle Dynasty, going down to Arena Mexico. So certainly you couldn't have asked for, frankly, a better first champion than Ricochet. I absolutely think it is eye-opening to see people raving about the positive contributions of having an AEW wrestler on their shows. But it's not just any AEW wrestler. It's Mercedes Moné, the TBS champion, somebody that is one of the really recognizable stars of wrestling, and somebody that is one of the top wrestlers in the world. So in this case, you have another top star, somebody who has great credentials and also is a very recognizable wrestling star, who is a very hardworking star, who's traveled the world. So I do think Mercedes blazed trails in terms of probably traveling and wrestling outside AEW more than any champion ever. Not necessarily always defending the TBS championship, but absorbing championships and taking over promotions. So it'll be interesting to have AEW having a champion going and making defenses. And we'll see how far it goes. He may only make one, and it could end any time for Ricochet. That's what makes it very compelling and interesting. But I absolutely think Ricochet was great tonight, and he could be a great national champion. But you have to give tons and tons of credit to Mercedes, to your point, for all the different promotions and all the different championships Mercedes has gone out, and all the business, to your point, that she's done for the different promotions she's wrestled for. And I think those promoters are onto something. Thank you. Lots of hands. This is great. I love this. Thank you for all coming.
Grant Matthews with Bleacher Report. Tony, earlier you mentioned the quality of programming that AEW's been delivering this year, the consistency and the quality of the programming, and I think that's been especially evident so far on pay-per-view in 2025 for AEW. But that being said, though, with the runtime of these shows, will we ever get back to a point where we can deliver the same quality of event that gets done before midnight, 11:30, specifically for the East Coast shows? Or, I mean, maybe specifically in terms of crowd engagement and stuff like that, just maximize that.
For Saturday night, I definitely was in, I could see that. After Dynasty, I like the feedback. So I do think, like, to your point, after Dynasty, I said, like, I probably on the East Coast wouldn't do a Sunday night like that late again. So then we started doing, which worked really well, a lot of afternoon start times. I thought tonight was really great. And obviously there was a lot of captivated people throughout the night. I am interested in that. I thought having epic pay-per-views with earlier start times was interesting. Also, when the show, to your point, like, is on the West Coast, like, it's not as you can play with the start times a little more. Also, it'll be interesting going back to Sundays, because I look at Sundays and Saturdays a little bit different from each other. I go to boxing matches and MMA where, like, the main event's not getting into the ring until like 1 a.m, and the cards are like several hours longer with the prelims. But it's and there's like 37 minutes between fights with video, like, and whereas it's not, the action doesn't pace the same. So I really like it, but at the same time, I like the feedback. So after Dynasty, I really this past year when in Philly, I was like, I love the show, but I probably on a Sunday, maybe I wouldn't do that on the East Coast. So I think I look at Saturdays and Sundays different. We'll have a history of doing more Saturday pay-per-views in Q4, particularly like during football season. I really think it serves us well not to do Sunday pay-per-views. So then Saturday pay-per-views, I will always be a little more flexible than Sunday. But also, I think there was something to the early start time pay-per-views at times too, and that could be interesting too. So, something to think about. We ended up putting 3 in a row, which we had never done with early start times, and that ended up being, they were all great shows. So there might be something to that. And then, we've always done our contracted time from the shows has always been close to 4 hours. Like, so if you look, every AEW pay-per-view has gone over 3.5 hours. There's never been an AEW pay-per-view that went under 3.5 hours in the history of the company, because we were contracted to do shows that go about 3:45. And if we didn't, I would have people talking to the end. Thankfully, we never ended up in a Chi-Town Rumble situation where they had to send enhancement guys to go wrestle for 15 minutes after Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat because they didn't fill the contract time. They do a pretty good job pacing it. So I think it's interesting, but definitely, I always like hearing the fans' feedback. I thought tonight was really, really great show, though. Thank you.
Tony, you've got to fly to Phoenix for Jags for tomorrow. You want to take 3 more questions?
That sounds great, but at the same time, I do appreciate you all being
Of course.
here, and it feels like I'll try to pace them here. So 3 feels about right.
Cool.
Great. Thanks, Renee.
Tony, thanks for the time. Rob Hasbani from The Stunner here. A few years ago here at Full Gear was one of the most iconic moments where we had the double debut of Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson. And I'm just curious.
What was that, All Out?
Oh, that was All Out?
That was All Out 21.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's late.
It's okay.
But the point of my question is, I'm sure you're constantly scouting. And I'm curious, do you watch independent wrestling yourself?
Yeah, I do.
Like, are you looking for the next?
Yeah, I do. Sometimes I
big
go to
talent?
independent wrestling. There's
So what do you look for when you're scouting? Like what?
I look for wrestlers that the fans connect with, and also and it's all different things. Just like in football players are built different. Like you're looking for different players that play different roles. Like not every player is the same height and speed and skill set. And there are things that you look for in some players versus other players, and you look for people that can come and play a role in your organization. So when you're looking, you say, oh, I think that person could do this. And then eventually maybe they could grow into a role. And same thing when you're scouting a football player. You think, okay, well, they could come in and I think they could play this role in the organization. And then I think they have the potential to grow. And sometimes whether it's football or wrestling, people can overperform or underperform those expectations, but they're just estimations and ideas that you have. But in the end, I go out and I look for people that I think could connect with the fans and people that could be good fit for AEW, and especially people that'll be good in our locker room and be a good part of the company, but also people that are going to be great wrestlers for us. And it doesn't necessarily in every case have to be right away. Sometimes it can be, but it could be somebody for the future. Thanks. Hey, take a few more here.
Hi, Tony. Aria Whitner, F4WOnline.com. Earlier this week, it came out that there were a number of suitors for Warner Brothers Discovery, including some that already have commitments to other pro wrestling companies. Are you worried that if WBD is sold to one of these companies, that that may not be good for the future of AEW on TV?
I am not worried at all. I feel really, really good. First of all, we have a great partnership with Warner Brothers Discovery, and we are very blessed to work with the great Superstation TBS with TNT, and now having the show stream on HBO Max. And no, that doesn't concern me at all. I'm very, 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 very optimistic about the future of AEW and where everything's going. Thank you. Is there anybody here who has not gotten to ask a question yet that's holding up? Yes. Okay. Because we've had, thank you. I want to make sure anybody who has not gotten to ask a question yet gets, thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
I just have to ask, clearly you're a big wrestling fan, like a lot of us are in here as well too. But in being in that space, you know, we have what we like to call a burnout, basically, where it's
a what?
A burnout. It's what we social media influencers kind of call, where you're posting so much, you're
You're saying it too fast.
oh, burnout. There we go. Burnout to
a burnout?
Yes. Yes. It's basically where you're posting so much, you're consuming so much of the product that you just kind of go into that burnout phase to where you don't feel as motivated to say post or as motivated to basically do what's a part of your job necessarily. I have to say for you, if there's any case where you might be, say, a little less motivated.
No, I haven't taken a break from wrestling in a long, long time, and I love it. And I'm very much in the zone. I love coming to work every week, and it's I've never missed a show, and I absolutely love it. And I talked about this a little bit earlier in the week, but I love coming here, and even if it's a question I've talked about before, and this is not a question I've talked about, I really like it, but I did reference some things along these lines earlier this week that I'd get back into. Every day I come into work, I'm so grateful to be in the chair. And I think all the time about how fortunate I am. I'm also really glad that you all, for the most part, a lot of the wrestling fans seem to like the work I'm doing and want me to be in the chair, because I'm also cognizant that it's not always that way for people. And I feel like, again, like I said earlier, a year ago, I felt like I was working really hard and I was trying my best. And I feel like after a year later, being in the same building in the same place, after turning it, it feels like we're in a better place than we were a year ago in many, many ways. And for me, I don't get that. So I'm always really grateful. Now, as a wrestling fan, wrestling's on 52 weeks a year. So I do realize that it takes a special kind of sports fan to have no off season and to follow a sport year round. And there were times when I was a kid where there would be periods where I'd be, when I was playing basketball and it was I would miss some wrestling shows, and the next thing you know, you missed the show a couple weeks in a row, and I'd tape a lot of things on VHS. So I'd forget to set the recorder, and then you missed the show. And there were a couple times where that, in the 90s, I had a couple times like that, and then time after time, anytime I got away from it, I always rediscover my love for it. And then being entrenched in it now for 7 years, every single week without a week away from it, I'm obsessed with it. I love it so much. I never think about being away from it, and I eat and breathe and sleep it. So it's really a pleasure to be here, and I never take it for granted how special it is to be able to do this. Thank you for asking. Is there anybody else who has not gotten to ask any questions?
There was one more guy.
There was another one. Yeah,
we'll
that's
take
great.
that as the
That's
last
great.
question.
Is there? You didn't get to ask one either? Okay, well you can get
you're
one
up
too.
next.
We'll get you two. I
All
don't want
right.
anybody to leave without asking one. Hey, thanks, Renee.
Hey, quick question. With
Hey.
Samoa Joe being now a two-time AEW World Champion, and a lot of people ask questions about Ring of Honor, is there going to be a push to kind of highlight some of Samoa Joe's like early career matches, like on either on the YouTube channel or that, and kind
Yes.
of put these worlds together?
What a great question. And actually, with the digital team being here, thank you, Andrew. So you can, first of all, there's a timeline that includes a lot of Samoa Joe's moments in the Ring of Honor promotion now, but also a lot of Samoa Joe's classic matches are up online. There's been a bit of a streaming wars, if I may say. A lot of wrestling promotions have been posting full matches this year. It's been a bit of a, and we're participating in that. We're a big participant in the full match streaming thing. We got a lot of great full matches on the AEW YouTube and on the ROH YouTube, including some classics with Samoa Joe. And also on Honor Club, there's this incredible library of the ROH matches. And Honor Club's a really good deal. And I'm telling you, like, go on the YouTube. If you don't believe me, go on some of the ROH YouTube, watch some of this year's shows, look at the comments. And people are like, this year has been really good. So you go on the Honor Club, you get the new ROH, but also a lot of the classics. For me, the first ROH DVDs I ever bought were Samoa Joe versus Kenta Kobashi and Bryan Danielson versus Kenta. And Samoa Joe versus Kenta Kobashi for me was one of the things that got me into ROH. And I see you have a follow-up.
They were glued the entire time, so I just wanted to let y'all know that. That's all.
Hey, that's cool. You, by the way, thanks for doing that. It's really cool. You were just saying not into the mic because our microphone was back there, but you had just said you have a pro wrestling class and you showed it to your class and they loved it. You said, thank you for the club. Yes, the club. Thank you. I appreciate you doing that. It's nice to see you.
And
then yes.
One last question here.
Hi, Matt.
Hi, how you doing?
Great.
Just wanted to ask you about the use of music for Hangman Page's entrance specifically, and just in general, licensed music. Just if you had anything about how it came together this evening, or the use of licensed music within wrestling.
Yeah, we were very fortunate. Thank you. It's a great question. I was really glad we got that license done. It was a race against time. Great work, guys.
Shout out Chris Puck.
Got it done. Great to the team. Thanks, guys. And I was very grateful. That's a great example. But time after time, we've been very blessed to get the rights to some incredible music. I always love bringing in. Anytime you can do different mainstream music, and it's all different kinds of songs too. And whether it was that one tonight or so many other great songs over the years, we've been really lucky that so many of the great artists have given us permission to use the songs. And when I was growing up, you'd hear a lot of those songs, but the wrestling companies wouldn't pay the rights, and then they'd get edited off the shows. So I'm happy to pay and pay in perpetuity so that 20, 30, 40 years from now, when people are watching this, the music will still be on there and we won't have to scrub it, because that's always, it takes you out of the moment, right? Yeah, good. So that's kind of the thought behind it, but we've been fortunate to get a lot of the licensed music we've wanted over the years. It's really great to see you. I'm sorry that it seems like everybody got to ask at least one question. I think there's nobody that got shafted. That's good. Thank you for all coming here and being here. It's really nice to see you. There's so many great wrestling writers and journalists, and especially up here in the Northeast, in this part of the country, I get to see so many of you. There's a great turnout. I appreciate all of you being here tonight. A lot of you have been covering AEW since the very, very beginning, since we first announced AEW. And I really appreciate it. And whether you came in along the way, whether you've been coming to the shows for years or whether it's your first time, thank you for being here. I thought it was a great show, and I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you've had a good experience. I hope that our PR team's taking care of you. I wanted to make sure everybody got to ask at least one question if you wanted to, and it seems like you have. So I'm on to
You got a flight to
Arizona,
catch. You've
and
gotta
I'm heading
go.
to the NFL. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, guys.
Happy Full Gear. I'll see you at World's End.